Welcome to fall 2021 science fiction. I went outside to make this welcome video for a variety of reasons. The first one was I know I did something wild last year, but the skies were red. Last year at this time, the skies were red. It was crazy. Now, the skies are pretty. Maybe I came out just to say, things get better. Should I come out to say that things get better because of science fiction? No, that's not what I'm saying. But you're just in store for a wonderful exposure to many excellent stories, a few novels for those of you that choose to join that path. But to be honest, I wasn't actually planning on shooting this right now. You can tell I'm just using my phone. I went outside. I'm pretty patriotic, you know. I do have my patriotic flag out there. I mostly do that for my 94-year-old neighbor across the street who, we lived here for 2 years without flying the flag. She always flies it. And that's why. That is literally neither here nor there. It's just, I don't know. It's what polite people do. We just, anyway, we get along with her and help her. But back to science fiction. You see, here's the thing. This is still an online class because there's a pandemic in the world. But at least now, it's not pandemic plus the sky is trying to kill you. Now, last year when I started this class, the sky was trying to kill us. And now it's not. And you know what? Trees have green leaves and the sky is beautiful. I want to start off with a little bit more positivity. Last year when we were in the middle of like a horrible pandemic with no vaccine and the sky was trying to kill us. And by the way, so for those of you, I don't know, maybe you moved here. Everybody should remember this. If you haven't moved here, or if you did move here, ask somebody about what the skies were. We had terrible fires and the wind blew all of the fires from Eastern Oregon over to Corvallis and Albany and toward the coast. It was terrible. And you're probably thinking, Chris, come on, man, I got stuff to do, people to see. Get to the science fiction. Well, the science fiction doesn't. We don't get to it. You know what it does? It gets to us. Stay tuned. Psst. There's a war going on everywhere. Don't be alarmed. All we need to do is identify the participants and understand their goals. We're safe. We're safe. We have to believe we're safe. Don't panic. Don't panic. We're about to pull the curtain back. Science fiction is the most dangerous class you'll ever take. It's the gloves off exposure of not only what might be, but what is. And it teaches us how to keep los ojos abren, which means it teaches us how to keep our eyes open. This is the first video I'm making for this class, even though you've probably seen some sort of generic intro video that I've got. That's probably the same one that I use in the other classes. This class is special. This is the Ojos Abren class. Are you with me on that? Good. Now take a deep breath and follow. Hang on. It's amazing. And you know what I have to tell you? I have to tell you, a few days ago, I thought, man, how are we going to get this bad boy online? Because when I'm in front of people, I know they're grabbing on. But when I'm having to deliver through the lines, what are you doing? You could be filing toenails for all I know. And that's okay. This game is about engagement. When we want to succeed in this class, we're going to be engaged. And we're going to be awakened to subtle details. I was just now, I captured a screenshot of some images because what we're going to be doing, one of the things that we'll first be working on is what AI thinks of us. Hang on, will you? We're going to get organized, but you know what? When an idea comes, I got to grab it because that's all I've got. And science fiction has well, some people are saying that the history of science fiction goes all the way back to the Greeks. We're going to be getting into that. Most people agree that it was Mary Shelley with her Frankenstein that started all of this, that started this sort of phenomenal, visionary, almost prophetic kind of literature that examined the potentialities of science in our lives and the consequences. That's what we're looking at. What previous instructors of this class never had going for them until within the last 10 years, maybe even the last 5 years, is that the artificial intelligence has arrived. So our first big project into this class is, what does AI think of me? What does it think of me? So here I was, I'm thinking about this for everybody. Listen, I want you to know, it's 2 days after Christmas, a couple days before my birthday. In 18 years of teaching college, I never worked over the break, but we gotta get this thing rolling. So here I am early in the morning whispering, not to create an ear of eeriness, an ear of eeriness? Air of eeriness. Anyway, I probably won't edit that because we just got to roll. But I'm being quiet because other members of my household are asleep. However, I did make the conscious decision to use my phone to shoot these videos. They're more intimate that way. This is a more special class to me, and you got to know that. You're going to have access to my phone number. You probably already got it. I did that in that generic video. But I want you to know that science fiction, it's the eye-opener. It's way bigger than just a lit class because right now we're living it anyway. There I was, sort of tracking. I've been fascinated by what does artificial intelligence think to me? What do the algorithms think about me? And so get this. So I snatch a screenshot. I'm pretty good with all their techno junk. You gotta be conversant with their technology or they're gonna just bury us. Check it out. Here's my prophetic statement number 1. The URL bar will disappear. Search up URL bar. We don't have time. Just if you don't know what it is, they've already won. And if I sound paranoid, trust me, I'm not. Hello, bosses. I hope you know what I'm doing. Because I will probably end up seeming a bit like kind of a conspiracy nut here. And I'm not. I'm a normal person with a house and a job. And we can all be normal people with a house and a job in this thing. But we've got to keep our eyes open. And that's one of the things that I love the most about science fiction. Anyway, there I was. I snatched that screenshot. I snatched 4 because the way that we get the picture of what artificial intelligence thinks about who we are is by noticing what they feed us in their advertising feeds. We all take this. This is the wallpaper now. And by wallpaper, I just mean we all take this for granted. Many of you have been seeing these ads and all this stuff for 10 years. So luckily, all these gray hairs, what they are, I'm a time traveler. Very slowly, one day at a time. But I've seen a different world. I've lived in a different world. I was raised in a different world. I embrace our new world. There's nobody in the class who knows more tech than I do. I've got Ubuntu boxes and Raspberry Pi, and I stay up with it. I'm not a programmer. So, yes, there are programmers among us. Anyway, stay focused. It's not just me, I promise. No, just kidding. Now, stay with me. I snatch these screenshots, and I've got a little folder on a drive where I'm going to put them, add them. They might not be in this video because it's getting a little long. But anyway, there it was. And then I had to edit them because the ads are so salacious. I'm like, oh, gosh, do I want students to have to see that on the first day? Well, listen, we're all adults here. Also, we're all adults here. We're going to be seeing some stuff, okay? I'm sorry. I hope that we can keep an open mind. And we have to look at what they're feeding us. We have to look at, anyway, it's like the culture of porn. You know what I mean? Like, where was that? That was not a thing when I was a kid. And I'm not a Victorian, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But this advertisement, I had to black something out of it because ew. And, but I just wanted to show you this is who they think I am. And they're wrong. But different story, different day. Now, stay with me. Snatch it. My machine gives me a little click, like, hey, screenshot. And then I download it, and I notice it downloads as a PNG. I'm like, that's cool. So now I'm going to upload it to my iServer. And anyway, my iServer is controlled by, one of the top five companies in the world. They're very convenient, and I pay money to have them make my life convenient. And that's what we do, is we trade our money and our privacy for convenience. And that's the new game, but it's more than that, because we're also trading many other features that we would like perhaps to be in control of anyway. I go to do that, and they're like, so the iServer is, no, we're not going to take your PNG. So I'm like, oh, okay. You're not going to take my PNG. So I have an application that I can open, likely from another of the top five. I can't. Let's do that later. But anyway, so I bring it up. I say, oh, yeah, I should probably edit that anyway, because gross. And so I add a layer, put in some black with the bucket. You see, I follow this stuff. And then I go to save it as a JPG, because JPEG. Because that's what that online server is used to taking. And the application says, oh, shucks, Rise, did you forget? Oh, man. Anyway, it gave me this message that the standard format is PNG. Are you sure you want to use the JPG? So these two companies are at war with one another. They want to move the standard file image format to PNG, which is happening. Meanwhile, my, totally dominant international server that takes images will only take JPEGs. So that was a skirmish, and I thought, oh man, let's just make this class begin, because that's a skirmish. And that's a subtle manifestation of the skirmish. That one company's telling us that the standard is PNG, another one won't take PNG. These are the kinds of details that would show up in science fiction to highlight things. Now, we're going to look at so much, but I just want you to know that a lot of the tropes and themes in science fiction, they're bouncing around us all the time. So literally, this class is happening inside the class, which is what? What is inside the class? I mean, like, we're living in this completely dystopian world where we can't all sit in the same room? Come on. It's all science fiction right now. It's science fiction all the way down to the first turtle. That's how maybe some Native American tribes describe the universe. And I think about that. I just think about this repeated realities. Repeated realities. Oh, man. There's so much for us to talk about. The multiverse, artificial intelligence, the singularity. It's all happening. Don't worry. I'm not actually like a paranoid person. I'm not. I just love this, though. I love keeping my eyes open. I love seeing it happen in front of my face, the great JPEG PNG battle. You know what? I was thinking that I'm not going to name these companies, but we gotta know. So the big five are Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, and Apple. It would be too impossible, but anyway, that's the battle between Adobe and Apple, okay? And also I have to confess, I don't want to do product placement, so I'm definitely not doing that. I'm just going to point out the battles, but and again, the only product placement I will do is open source. I will do Linux and Ubuntu. I will do all of that stuff, because that's what we got to get back to. But for speed and ease and like, oh my gosh, I get to record this on my phone. That's good. By the way, and this means a lot to me that I can create these on my phone. I don't create the rest of the videos on my phone, the ones for other classes. I want this class to be different. I want you to come to this class with a more open mind than you might. I don't know who you are, and you're going to let me know slowly. But the first thing you're actually going to do is let me know who artificial intelligence thinks you are.